going to go back to the actual arguments and evidence for God's existing. And on this, the Quran says, indeed, the worst of the living creatures in the sight of Allah are the deaf and dumb who do not use reason. Those who don't use their aql, those who don't use their reason. These kind of people who actually have the ability to know that God exists and to serve him appropriately, and they don't do it, of course, they're going to be in hell, and God is just for sending them to hell. Now, why does he say that these are the worst of living creatures? And on other verses, he actually compares them to cattle, but he says, no, you're actually worse than cattle. Why? Because a cow wasn't granted with the intellectual, rational faculties that man has in order to know his creator, right? And so they're not going to be blamed. You're not going to see cows in hell, that type of deal. You know what I mean? But these people who have been granted that ability, and what do? They're kuffar. Why? Part of the reason and the terminology is because they're ungrateful. They don't actually even use what God has given them in order to come to proper knowledge of him and submit to his will, because they just throw it in the bin. And I'm sorry to say, but my experience of dealing with most atheists and these people online is we have, I don't want to put a percentage on it, but the Quran uses most a lot, so I'll use the word most. Most people walking around, they're worse than cattle. They don't use their intellect, and they're just a bunch of philosophical zombies walking around. And I think that is the whole point